So we're starting this week very hot and there's humidity today, so I'm not quite used to this weather, but it is beautiful, and there's no wind. It is like the windmill wasn't moving hardly. It's just so peaceful out here. So it was a good day to lay down new fabric paths. This is my last area that I needed to put paths down on, unless I expand, but I really don't think I'm going to get any bigger. So last year this was just in cover crop and I had a compost pile sitting there. So I wanted to lay down the paths, and then I wanted to move the big tarp on top of that area to start killing down. I had rye in there, so I wanted to kill down the rye, and then hopefully we'll plant dahlias in there in a couple weeks. And I kind of wanted to see what was happening under the tarp. This was my winter experiment to see if I could keep dahlias alive through the winter in our area. I have to say this was a colder winter than we've had the last few years, and then a very wet spring here, which is both not great conditions for trying to get dahlia tubers to survive. Partly because I have planted them in kind of clay, so it doesn't drain very well. And especially this area, the front part probably is less wet than the back corner, which the back corner would have been quite a bit wet this spring. So yeah, I did peek, so I know a little bit about what's happening under there, but definitely don't know what's happening in the middle. So maybe we should go see if anything survived. It's so exciting to see. Like, I don't know what to say about the experiment, but there's definitely some that survived, more so at this end of the bed, and maybe that's because I do think it gets wetter the farther we go across. But even here, like this one is very much alive, and then the one beside it is like it's just rotten. So I don't know what to say. And it's taking a long time. I can't stop and look at every clump. So I think my goal today, and this might take longer, is to get most of the leaves off, and I'm just piling them up because I kind of want them to get rained on, and I'll use them for mulch maybe once some of my dahlia rows are sprouted and up, but I don't want them to blow away. So I kind of want to get them in a pile and maybe put something on top of them to stop them from that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get back to you. I definitely found some life in the far row, but I found more rot. And here, yeah, it's kind of 50-50, I think. And then some I just, oh, like this guy, he's alive. So I don't know if it's per variety or if it's how wet my bed is, but I think it was worth it trying this out. I'd definitely try this again and maybe find a little bit of a drier bed if possible, but this is so exciting. So my second experiment trial that I was doing this winter was seeing how many eucalyptus I could keep alive. So this is a good experiment compared to last year, because I did the same thing last year, probably with less mulch on, though. I definitely put way more leaves on this year. And it was probably a good thing because it was quite a bit colder for longer stretches of time. And I had the hoops on top with plastic. I took the plastic off a couple months ago, and I've just been cleaning up the hoops this week because they need to go on top of the ranunculus. So last year, this variety here, under the hoops was all alive, all the way to the tips. Like as tall as they were, the whole plant was alive. And then I had a few of the bigger ones back there survive. But this year you can see everything looks pretty dead. It didn't matter if it was even under a hoop. It definitely, everything above the ground has died back with the cold winter we had. So today we had some rain last night, and they're calling for rain again tonight. So I hope to, I don't know how far I'll get, clean some of this up, see what's alive, see what survived, and replace any dead plants and any empty spots with some of my new eucalyptus. This was kind of also a new thing for me. I bought in the bootstrap bigger plug cells here for longer space for their roots, and they are very happy in these trays. Quite a bit bigger than ones that I ran out, so ones that were in the smaller plug size. So this is the same variety here, and let's see. They're still doing well. I do think these are a bit happier than the smaller ones, but size-wise, it's not bad. Space under lights in your house over the winter, this is like a lot of space. So as long as you can get them in the ground on time, I don't think a smaller tray is the end of the world, maybe for certain varieties, but okay, so I feel like I made a bit more of a mess, but I don't have time to clean it up because there's too much planting that needs to happen right now. So I got everything cut down. I looked at most things, but it's same with the dahlias. I don't have time to look at every single plant to see if it's alive and coming back, so time will tell. I have 5 rows, 4 of them I put low tunnels on this winter. The first row was young, I call it silver dollar, and that's not what it's called. I don't know if it's gunny. It's probably the most common variety of eucalyptus that people think of, with a really good scent, a little bit bigger leaves on it. I find it a fairly hardy variety, so I can't quite tell the first row. They were younger plants. There's definitely some that are sprouting up, and some I sliced just to see if it was alive and green in there, and so they are still alive. They're just not sprouting out, so we'll have to see whether they do that. So I'm happy with what happened in row 1. Row 2 was this variety, Polyanthemus. What's it called? Yeah, Polyanthemus. not my favorite variety. It kind of grew on me through the season. I did like it in my wreaths, so I did start it again. None of it survived. Obviously not very hardy at all. Under a low tunnel, tons of mulch, 0 survival rate on it. That was row 2. Row 3, I didn't have a tunnel, but I had one giant plant in there that I was curious whether it was going to survive. It survived last year without any help from me, but totally dead, nothing alive on it. So maybe if I had it under the cover and it might have came back. Row 4 had the parvula. It's more of a florist strain of eucalyptus, not as smelly, smaller leaves. I love it for bouquets, and it's probably the hardiest eucalyptus variety that I have grown. Really good survival under my tunnel. Last year it was the one that was totally alive under the tunnel all the way up to the top. Everything died back except at the base. Almost every plant has life coming along the bottom there. So I'm very happy that that row came back because it's a great filler for my bouquets and I love to have lots of it. And then the last row that I had a tunnel on was actually a mix of plants. So I had some older silver dollar that had survived last year, so big stems. Most of them are coming back. And then I had like baby blue and I can't remember, maybe another variety in there. Nothing else came back. I found that baby blue for me the last 2 winters was not very hardy. So this year I'm trying, I think I have 6 or 7 different varieties. I'm not sure, I'm gonna make a mixed row again so I can try all this winter and see what survives. But yeah, I think I have more eucalyptus plants that will fit in these 5 rows in the holes. So I'm gonna have to find another space, but you can never have enough eucalyptus. So I kind of feel like I had 3 experiments or things that I'm trying this winter and spring. Like, so the dahlias, if they survived or not, the eucalyptus, and then the third was just how I was going to deal with the cutworm problem in my field. So in terms of the cutworm, I've been planting like crazy the last couple of weeks and I have yet to see any damage from cutworm. So I'm crossing my fingers that the nematodes and the chickens have really cut back on the population. Like I just killed one in the other bed where I was planting, so I know that they're still here. Like the chickens didn't get them all. So I hope the nematodes are working. I have a little bit more nematodes I can apply, hopefully tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, so I hope to get out here and do it in between some rainstorms and get them watered in. But yeah, I feel like I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to be a more promising spring. Like my snapdragons are all still there. I haven't noticed any damage. And last year they took out all my straw flower by now. And I have lost some straw flower, but that's not due to the cutworm, but due to the chickens. The chickens keep escaping and then they scratch my newly planted plants. So they've like multiple times been into the straw flower bed and dug them up, and sometimes I don't see it right away, so the little straw flower babies dry up. So yeah, that's frustrating. I finally seen them escape today. They flew over the netting from on top of the chicken coop where they lay their eggs. They can jump up there, and then they like took this leaping fly over the netting and got out. So I'm gonna have to adjust that tomorrow and then see if that's actually how they're doing it. And hopefully they're not ever getting underneath, because then that would be a harder thing for me to fix. But other than that, everything's alive. So I feel like so far, we'll be able to see next week if these zinnias are still here. And we'll know if maybe we won't be dealing with cutworm this year. So yeah, it's been a really good week. I'm super excited that some of my dahlias are alive. I'm surprised, like I took the cover off at the beginning of the week and that some of the tops that were tall enough are greening and leafing out. So it's super exciting to see that growth already. And a decent amount of eucalyptus are coming. So it's just, it's fun to see some of these things work out, and I'm definitely going to try both of those experiments again. Yeah, I just think that's why I like growing flowers and gardening like this. I always love that there's always something new to try, and every year it's always a little bit different with the weather. So it's just fun to see what works and what doesn't work. Like those snapdragons, we took the tops off and then I tried rooting them in the tray. Yeah, they all rooted. They all rooted within like 5 days. It was shocking to me. So maybe I'll try that again. It was still time consuming, but now I have a whole tray of snapdragons that are a pretty big size, way bigger than if you started them from seed. It takes quite a long time to get them to be that size. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, just a beautiful week here. I had my daughter helping me for a bit, like folding the plastic from the eucalyptus when we cleaned that up. And it's just nice to have another set of hands 1 or 2 days a week. So I'm thankful for that. And yeah, all I need now is more time. I cannot get all the plants in the ground fast enough. So I'm going to stop talking and keep planting before I lose the sunlight tonight. So I hope you had a good week too, and I hope to see you again next time.